Ed, let's talk about the Mathematics Tour. You have taken over Wembley Stadium. You have 2 sold-out shows already, 3 more to come. How are you enjoying this tour so far? What's the most exciting thing about this tour for you?
I think these are the best shows I've ever done. Like, the best crowds are always, like, up north, and London's quite subdued sometimes, but these have been the best crowds I've ever had anywhere. It's amazing.
How long are you going to be on tour for now in Europe?
You know what, a while. It's basically, it's an in-the-round show. You're essentially, like, submerged in the crowd, and it's just, the atmosphere is just insane. But I'm going to tour it, I basically do mainland Europe next, and then we go to Australia and New Zealand, and then we go elsewhere. It's going to be a long tour.
Well, lots of people have been getting in touch with the show today, asking when you're going to announce tour dates in the United States of America.
Yeah.
When will that be?
I think we're going to announce by the end of the year. We're basically finalising a route now. But yeah, I'm super excited to bring this tour. I mean, it's an insane-looking tour. We basically planned it from the End of the Divide tour, because it was sort of like well-publicised that it was the most people had gone to this tour, and I was like, well, if we come back, we need to do all bells and whistles, and the stage is nuts. There's like a revolve and bits go up, and we've got fireworks and flames. There's a band. It's a whole thing. But I'm really, really proud of the show, and it's the first time, like, you go on tour. For my first album, I basically just played my first album live, and the second album was like little bits of both, and the third album was like little bits of both, whereas this one, the set list is pretty much just songs people know, which is really nice. There's I'm actually dropping songs that
you must be dropping just hit after hit, I imagine now.
But no, I mean, like, cutting them out.
That's what I mean. Yeah. You're like, oh, we can't do it.
Yeah.
What are the 3 songs you know you will have to perform on every tour from this point on for the rest of your career? What are the 3 songs you're like, I know that people would be disappointed if they weren't there?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I put it in my head. I was like, I'm a massive Coldplay fan. And if I go to a Coldplay show and they don't play Fix You or Yellow, I'm going to be like...
That's annoying.
Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, people are going to think that coming to my show. So I would always have Perfect. I'd always have Bad Habits, Shape of You. But then you've got
Thinking Out Loud.
18. Bad Habits is actually the... Yeah, I always like... Whenever you put out a new album, you're like, if I'm not ending the show with the new single from this album and it's from the last album, I'm like, oh, has it done well? So I was like, I'm really happy to, like, Bad Habits is the best of the whole show. So I'm really, 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 really pleased with that. But I thought I would just end the show with Shape of You for the rest of my life. I thought that was kind of like, just it.
I mean, Vin, you have a big passion for music. Music is a massive part of your life. If there was ever going to be a Vin Diesel show at Wembley Stadium, who would your guest stars be? Who would you want to bring out on stage with Vin Diesel?
Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa.
Correct.
That's good. I'm first getting over kind of understanding that Wembley and Wimbledon are 2 different places.
And how can you get confused between Wembley and Wimbledon when you have got, let's be honest, the greatest British accent in the history of film? Have people heard Vin Diesel's... Have you heard of it? He must have done it to you backstage. He must have done it. He can't help himself.
I can't help myself.
He can't help himself. When he's around a British person, go on, give us...
I can't help myself.
Go on, give us a bit, Vin.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, really. It's like all weekend. That's all you have to do if you want to do it in English. Like, all weekend. I do it to Michael Caine. I do it to Helen Mirren. I cannot help it. I hear it, and you think so. I don't know.
The prospect of you sitting with Helen Mirren and Michael Caine talking about a long weekend.
A long weekend.
Is amazing. Reggie, do you have a question for our guest this evening?
Yes, I do. Tonight's question goes to both of our guests this evening. As I would assume that both of you are somewhat fans of science fiction, so this is a science fiction-based question. During teleportation, or not even teleportation, but just molecular transportation like they do in Star Trek, do you think that it's feasible that someone should be starting to move before they fully materialized? Because I've noticed whenever you see people beaming to planets, they're already starting to move before they've completely materialized. Is that a problem for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's a big problem.
Ben, big problem?
I think that's a question for you guys. Do you think it's a problem? Yes or no? It's a yes, Reggie.
Okay.
Reg?
Well, I hope Star Trek's listening. Wait till people fully materialize, then have the characters move. That's correct. Thank you.
It's absolutely correct! Ladies and gentlemen, please thank our incredible guests tonight, Vin Diesel, Ed Sheeran. Stick around, we'll be